Hey, everybody. Welcome to Making Connections. This is your girl, Aly. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. You guys know we are here every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every Saturday at 12 noon. And so you saw a lot of flyers going by there. We like to announce and let people know about community events taking place. In case you need something to do, in case you're looking for an organization to become a part of or what have you. So definitely check out all those different flyers and the things going on. And so you guys know what today is. That's right, it's fourth Monday. Woo, woo, woo. And on fourth Monday, we always have our guest expert, James J.T. Thompson. What's up, JT?
What's going on? Blessings upon blessings on a beautiful Monday with the sun shining, with a little crisp in the air. But here we are with breath of our body and a great Lord looking over us as we move and navigate through this life.
Amen. Amen. I tell you. And so, of course, Mondays, fourth Monday especially, we like to bring you some hope, inspiration, motivation. I told JT he might be doing the show. I might just be sitting here listening today, but he said he got me covered, so I'm good. But, we do like for you to be encouraged. And, it's a good day to do it on Mondays as we start the new week. And so, let's jump into it. Our topic is It's Time to Spring Forward.
Definitely. Thinking about time to spring forward, we just passed by what is the official beginning of spring. But it's funny how current events and current things can bring us to um, thinking about, and I can tie it into time to spring forward. First of all, there's a surfer named Dominique Miller. She was asked a question about what kind of conditions does she like to surf in, and her response became something very, very interesting. She said, "I like to I like to swim in all. I like to surf in all conditions, so I can be a better and more well-rounded surfer." Got me to thinking. You know what? In your faith, you want to, you don't want to just be one dimensional, like have faith when everything is all good. You want to have that same faith when it's good, the bad, the ugly, no matter what it is, so that you will be able to rise up and have that same mustard seed faith, no matter what, how the waves are rolling. You know whether they're up, whether it's a tide, whether it's moving, whether it's fast, whatever. Lesson being, you want a faith that's not just not wavered by what the season is. Meaning, even if we're springing forward, even if we're falling back, even if we're in the midst of a hot summer or the dead of a cold winter, your faith is going to be made up of, not being bothered, not being moved. The needle won't move based on the season of the year. It brings me to another springing forward moment. Think about this. A lot of times we are challenged in the highest achievements of our life because the devil doesn't like it when we're ascending and we have faith on another level, when we're in high moments of achievement, when we are being recognized, when we are in nominations, or say that we have achieved goals that we've been shooting for, put the labor of work into. Think about this. The blood, sweat, and tears that you put into any project or any goal that you have. And so we also learn in this life, it doesn't take but 1 second for the dynamic to change. Just like we have a faith that is like, you know what, God, I know you come through and change this situation. I just got to hold on and say, peace be still. That no matter what comes, I still believe that my life is going to continue to move forward because that's what I speak in the atmosphere. And so please spring me forward. Please continue to push the shift in the atmosphere that I put upon my life, Lord. No matter the current, no matter what the challenges are, Lord, we can overcome it. Think about the elephant in the room today. Am I sparked by the words of man, or am I moved by the words of what God is putting in my life? God looks at me and looks upon me with accountability and responsibility that based off my decisions and my actions, at the end of the day, I need to be fully accountable for what I do because I'm the one that's walking that path and I'm the one doing these things. So when we are in a moment, whether it's an impulsive moment, impulsive decision, or whatever the case may be, we have to remember and understand that moment is going to dictate what happens in the next moments. Think about this, Allie. When we make a decision, that decision is going. There are causes and effects to that decision. So if I go off my initial decision, it might not be the best decision. And look at it like this: when we were in our 20s, we weren't making the same decisions in our 20s that we making in our 40s. And if you are, and you still stagnant, and you ain't even riding the wave, you ain't springing forward, you ain't falling back, you just standing in one place. And I say that to say this:
Right.
always understand that each and every moment of achievement also comes with a challenge. Because without that challenge, we're not really able to fully appreciate what that moment really is. Think about it. In the moment of a slap heard across the world, it's temporary satisfaction of a physical movement that does not bring longevity other than the temporary action. But the cause and effect of that moment can go on and on and on. And we have to be able to see within ourselves a moment of anger, a moment of frustration, a moment of feeling like you have been disrespected will carry you some places. But also a moment of thought and a moment of saying, if I make this decision, I may not be in the same place that I am today. I am also in a place where I can also be in my own way. I can devalue myself just by making a moment out of character. It isn't necessarily me. Think about this. We all go through things in life that we are heavily affected by. And a lot of times we hold that stuff in. And even when we reveal that stuff to the world, sometimes you're still dealing within yourself all the little things that you're having to deal with on a daily basis, which the world don't know. And the world not going to be thinking about it because we standing in judgment of someone, not understanding
Right.
that me as a man, I don't need to be judging you and holding nobody in an account until I hold myself accountable for my actions. I can have an opinion, but to hold another man in judgment based off what he does and what his actions are, I can only look at it for what it is and say I could pray better for him. I could pray better for him or her, and I could say, you know what? I could pray peace upon that man's life, and say, you know what? The next time it may not be like this time, and you can put yourself in the role of each person in the situation. I also can say there are not a whole lot of people that can stand in public forum and be slapped and move on through the moment as if, okay, I acknowledge it, but not have a physical reaction. Look at it
Right.
like this: there are a lot of things that hit us like a ton of bricks, but will our reaction be the same? Will we be able to bounce back in a growth moment, in a mature moment? Because I'm thinking a lot of things that happen physically, Ali, we don't always react in the best way. And you think about it, our physical reaction sometimes to things is not the best reaction.
Right. Right. Lord JT, you said so much. Let me start back with the surfer. The fact that she surfs in all types of weather, which that's very smart. That's very wise because she competes. And so, she might be like in California and the waves are cool and the weather's nice. And so she gets used to that, but every place she competes may not have that same type of weather. May not have that same type of flow to the ocean like you said. I mean, sometimes it's high tides, sometimes it's low tides. So that's very smart to train in all types of weather. I mean, you think about even the army. I mean, they really take our men and women through it when they're going through boot camp and stuff like that. Because and they start right at boot camp because they know eventually you could be in a war. And I need you to be able to think through your emotions and stay on task, stay focused. And so, they take them through it right at the beginning. And so, even like you were saying, like for Chris Rock, when he got slapped, I mean, for him to continue on with what's going on, because in life, it's gonna feel like we've been slapped. It's gonna feel like we've been spit on. It's gonna be feel like we've been pushed to the bottom. But you have to remember, okay, why am I here? What am I here to do? You know, nobody said it was gonna be easy. Nobody said, I mean, if I look at the people who've gone before me, they've had hard times, they've lost their business, they've been evicted, they've lost their cars and different things like that. But look at them now. Look at where they are. Look how what happened to them when they persevered through that. And so, you know, all of that.
We did see Mr. Smith a few months back on the same stage as his spouse, and he was broken in the moment, broken in the realities of what his spouse was saying, and also the revelations, of that moment. People are quick to bring the past up and not understanding that when you're not directly affected by that, there's not a lot that you can really, really say. Your insight is more so of an opinion. Look at it for
Exactly.
what it really is. I mean, it's like I'm in tears. I'm everything is laid out there on a national stage, and yet my wife, there's very little emotion from her. She, in bringing all this to the forefront. I've also been privy to read Will Smith's book. Lot of stuff revealed in that particular book that for me, I looked at it from a different perspective last night.
Mhm.
When you have things that build in you, and you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to navigate through, and you might even have help in that area, but you still are trying to figure it out. Man, that's a deep place, and some places are darker than other places, and especially when you're trying to figure it out, it can be a cold world and a dark world and a dark path. And listening to a lot of the commentary today and opinions, you've got everybody on both sides of the thing. But the one thing that I have not heard today was, you know what? Even in a moment of mistake or maybe in a moment of impulse, did anybody think Jada had an opportunity to control the narrative in there? Because she could have whispered to her husband, "It's not worth it. We understand what we have, and we gonna build off that love. We're going to build off what we share. We understand the dynamics of our marriage, and that's all that matters." Will could have thought about it for a minute and said, "Sticks and stones will make but break my bones." And even in this moment, I don't have to give a reaction. I can be a bigger man. I can be a better man. But he broken, and there's a lot going on. I don't know that man personally, but from what I've read, what I've seen, you look at
Right.
the action and some of the red flags. All I can do is pray for that brother. All I can do is pray for that marriage. There was no reaction to a joke that was made earlier in the night by Regina Hall about their open marriage. Now, I don't know what Bible, what I'm saying, some people read, but I don't see nothing clarifying open marriage as being anything in anybody's vows. So, again, how can I not react to something that don't have nothing to do with the vows we took? But I can react to something that's really superficial and really more so words throwing out. That really, if I'm in a better place, in a better space, even in my marriage and even as a man, I ain't even gonna react like that. Because in my mind, I'm like, that's like dirt off my shoulder. And even me sitting in the front row, I would be sitting in a better place because look at it. I'm fin to ascend to something that I've never done before. Will Smith became the
Right.
21st African American actor in 94 years to be recognized with an Oscar.
Mhm.
Understand the dynamic of those numbers. But yet, we got on a national stage last night and acted like they say we act. On top of that, last night was the first time ever that an African American male produced the Oscars and the HBCU grad. But here we are today talking about a different dynamic and a different storyline. Takes away from all of what could have been. It's marred in controversy by this. And I'll say one point before I hand it back over. Chris Rock didn't give a statement as to why he didn't press charges. I have some insight as to why. When you recognize the moment for what it really is, and if you see how we supposed to really see Aly, my brother or my sister struggling, how can I build on top of that? What am I really gaining by pressing anything against you when really what you are in need of is more than what that moment would provide? It would only set you back further to the help that you really need. I'm not talking about mental health. I'm talking about just a moment to say, you know what, we're going to promote love. You talked about love in your speech, but we're going to promote love for what it is, and that's where it starts. Just because you struck me, just because you violated me, I ain't got to do an eye for an eye. What I can do is pray for you and love on you and say, you know what, I could have crossed the line. And I didn't understand the dynamic of what I was dealing with. As far as I get it, comedians do it all the time, but everybody ain't in that great space. And in
Hmm.
that moment, something that was ad libbed in, it was not promoted by the Oscars, and didn't he done that on his own? It backfired.
Right.
It backfired, Aly, and it's like for me, I hope Chris Rock learned a lesson out of that, and I hope Will Smith does too, and I hope Jada does too. There's something missing in our culture where it pertains to you gotta love in the most challenging moments, and it ain't always about being the biggest and the baddest, but it's about being the smartest and the one with the faith to know this too shall pass, and I don't have to give a reaction where it really ain't necessary. Because at the end of the day, what did I say earlier? Temporary satisfaction only gives you a temporary moment. It gives you
Hmm.
no longevity to nothing. And at the end of the day, me and you going home, and we still got to work within our marriage. All the lights and the cameras go off, it's still me and you. So what did we really gain out of that moment last night, other than another black eye to to move roundabout in everybody else's opinion?
Wow. And I don't really know how I feel about it yet. Really, I think that, like you said, in every situation, everybody can learn something, right? Maybe the comment earlier in the evening struck a chord, and then when Chris Rock came back and said something else, it just took it over the top. So you don't really know what's going on, but what in everything that I've heard you say, we still have to give each other grace and mercy, right? We still have to realize that, and we can sit back and say all we want to, what we would have done and what we wouldn't have done, but you never know in that situation, like you said, because you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. So you
And
again, that goes to that preparation time. Know that people are coming for you. Know that everything's not going to go the way you want it to. Know that sometimes at your height, people are still going to talk junk about you. People are still going to think you're not worthy. And like you said, I mean, here he is. I mean, over 94 years, and how many African American actors, and he's only the
21.
21st person to
Mm-hmm.
receive that award. So yeah, in so many ways, that night was heightened. That the expectations and everything, and I don't know what happened. I can't say. He probably don't even know what happened. He's probably like, why did I do that? What happened? But it happened, and we got to move forward. But I can't take anything away from everything he's already done. All the accomplishments he's already done, all the people he's helped along the way. He had a momentary lapse of, I say sanity for a moment, but he's still done a lot of things in the world. It's like if I go out and I do something, they'd be like, "Why did Allie go to that store and steal that purse?" what was that purse, you know? But that's not something I do. And
Mm-hmm.
then if everybody just like, oh, she's a thief, and da da da, well, that's not who I am. It's something I did. But like you said, I wasn't dealing with something on the inside of me. I wasn't dealing with something that has been bothering me, or I haven't dealt with how people treated me. So it's a lot of stuff that, a lot of times we glaze over. But I think that brings highlight to the fact that when something happens in your life, confront it, deal with it, you know what it is and be able to call it out. Because I can't remember what I was watching, but if you already tell your story, then nobody can hold your story against you, right? So,
You're right. You're right. It makes complete sense. I mean, look at it. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? At the end of the day, who do you have responsibility for holding accountability to? At the end, I think, I think about actions and read about a lot of stuff that happens when springing forward in life. You have to remember that in order to spring forward, you got to let the past go. In order to be
mm,
able to move efficiently, effectively, productively, you can't have any extra baggage. You have to deal with things on the point. Anything that you let manifest in your soul and your spirit is going to hold you down like a hook on the bottom of a ship. The ship can't rise because the weight of the hook is holding it down. You have to let the hook go. Meaning, there are no two people that can say the same answer about how they would handle different situations. But what I can tell you is this: when you take the time, the moment, even if it's a moment to breathe, what you can do is say, God, I need you in the midst of me right now. It doesn't take but a moment. The same second that can change the dynamic and go negative is the same thing that can change the moment to go positive. Meaning, I could hold my head high if I didn't walk up there and slap that man. Just like I hold my head, like I felt like I done the right thing, I could do the same thing if I made the decision not to strike that man. Because at the end of the day, I still took action. I still did something that was not in my character, that was not of me. So at the end of the day, look, you have to ask for forgiveness when you do something. And again, this can only take place between that young man and God. Meaning, in our conversations, when we do something, when we have time to think, because every step of the day is not the best step of the day. But when you have that time with God that you would set aside, and you're like, God, just ask you to forgive me of my sins, Lord, if I trespass against anybody in right or wrong, Lord, just please forgive me. Ask for forgiveness, ask for repent for things that are not of right, and stay in accordance of the obedience. That's what it takes. Maybe we wasn't ready for that in the acceptance speech. When you look at the tears that were rolling down his eyes, those tears were from a different place. Those tears were not tears of joy. Think about back in King Richard. King Richard took so much, but was still descending because he was set on the standards that he believed in, and he wanted to still in his children and in his family. But he took a lot. He did not react the way that most people would have reacted. But yet, look at where he got to. And he did, and it's not a perfect life. But the overall picture of, you know what, wow. And my story was depicted on a big screen. It took the foundation and the nuggets and the baseline of what I incorporated, what I dreamed of for my daughters. And in spite of all the attacks, both physically, verbally. However, still I stood on that Plymouth Rock, and I said, I believe what I believe, and I'm going to ride with that. I'm not going to waver from that. Think about that, Aly. So many times we veering right, left, and not staying the course. And
right.
how is it with all the distractions and all of the things that are trying to knock us off the block? You're trying to spring forward. You're trying to ascend. You're trying to do exactly what was instilled in you, and look at all the things trying to knock you down. Even in the moment of being knocked down, you have to remember you can spring forward. One, it starts from within. Two, you got to be willing to be accountable, be responsible, and say, hey, if I messed up in that moment, It ain't about you, the academy. It ain't about you, the people. It's about me realizing that I could have handled things better. And I wasn't in my best space and I wasn't in the best moment. And I'm sorry. I apologize. Look at that word. I said it. I'm sorry. I apologize for my actions and I hold myself 100% accountable and I ask for forgiveness. First and foremost from my creator, and secondly for anybody I may have offended by my actions.
Right. And even the part about letting go, think about it. That's if you're a ball player, that's if you're a writer, if you're a business owner, maybe your first business failed, but you can't like be like, okay, I want to start another business, but no, I'm a failure. The first one failed. I didn't get off the ground. I didn't get enough clients. My marriage, we got married, we loved each other, but I mean, all we do is argue. I mean, things happen, but if you continue to bring up what happened, like with your argument with your spouse, well, you remember back in 2010 when you da 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 da. I mean, that's not a good space to be. You're gonna have to, again, at that time in that moment, we should have dealt with it. If it hadn't been dealt with it, let's deal with it. But once we deal with it, let's let it go. Let's bury it. Let's put it to rest. Let that
And
not
you be able
continue to be a
you freeing
hindrance.
yourself, right?
Say that again.
You freeing yourself, correct?
Exactly, exactly. And I was talking, that reminds me of a lady I was talking to, and she's like, she used to do some certain things that she knew her husband didn't like just to aggravate him. I said, but look at where that got you until you grew up, until you matured to the place where you're like, it's really not worth it like this. I can just sit down and talk to him and we can just deal with this. She was causing herself more, conflict in the marriage, because she was deliberately doing stuff that she knew would bother him. And so, you have to really evaluate what's in your mind, what's in your heart, and deal with it. And then too, like you said, that forgiving part, you got to forgive yourself first. Okay, I messed up. Okay, I did this to make my marriage terrible. Now, what am I going to do to make my marriage better? What am I going to do? Am I going to admit my faults and be like, okay, let's give it another chance? And I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to give you grace just like I'm asking you to give me grace. You know what I'm saying? Even with your business, whatever it is, you got to let go of the failures and say, okay, today's a new day. God woke me up with another opportunity to do something different, to do something, better, to think better, to speak better over myself, to. Better. And so every day is an opportunity.
There every day. Man, you hit the nail on the head. Each and every day that you are awakened by our God, man, that is another opportunity to get it right or to continue your walk in purpose.
Right.
When we talk about the many, phases of springing forward, it's really all built into how you navigate through this life. How do you put action behind what you want to do, what you want to achieve? And those things are all incorporated in springing forward. Being able to move forward in your path, in all seasons, in all times in life. And understanding there's going to be those potholes, there's going to be those stumbling blocks, there's going to be those cracks that even if we don't see coming, we got to be able to walk through or overcome or step over. And there may be a stumble, there may be a trip, but it's all about how you bounce up, bounce back, recover from those things that will continue to define where you're going, the
Right.
results of the actions that you put in. It's just there's so many different phases of what can happen. When you're making the right or wrong decisions. But one thing I can tell you is when you continue to consistently make the right decisions, usually favor is going to continue to fall upon your life. But when you continue to make the wrong decisions and keep,
Yeah.
hustling backwards, I can tell you the cause and effect of that. It's going to be something that you feel, and it's not going to be what you want. Like, it's not going to be, the peaches and cream, the smoothness. No, it's going to be hard times, hard lessons for hard heads that, continue to think, well, if I move back, it's like walking backwards on a dark road, and you don't expect to fall into anything because you don't see you're not seeing where you're going. You just
Mhm.
walking backwards. Goes back to the faith. I walk backwards in the dark and understanding that my faith is built different, and if I take my time, I can navigate through it. But don't walk through blindly, not understanding that you are in your own way if you're not putting the actions that make sense to navigate through. And you're not putting the right thoughts into being able to spring forward. Be productive in your life. Make changes. Know that you can make adjustments, that everything in our lives happens for a reason. Understand that for what that is. Good, the bad, the ugly. Everything is set up in this life
Mhm.
for you to be able to act and react. And it's how you bounce back from these things that define your next moments, as opposed to, oh, I was in the fight, but I just left it short and I couldn't get up. You couldn't get up because you lost your mojo. Couldn't get up because you extended energy where energy wasn't necessary. You couldn't get up because you lost the faith that was necessary to press your way on through. You couldn't get up because you operated as if you had your shoes tied together, and no longer could you take the steps that you needed to because you were tied in and not separated and taking those guided steps in order to get where you're supposed to get. Understand, your steps are ordered when you're walking in accordance, walking in obedience, walking in a made up
Yeah.
mustard seed faith that says, despite how the devil is coming at me, I'm going to continue to ride, continue to smile, I'm going to continue to show love, even in the face of hate, in the face of bigotry, in the face of racism, in the face of people trying to treat you and categorize you different because of the color of your skin. And none of that stuff at the end of the day, when your mind is where it's supposed to be, when your spirit is for whom it's supposed to be, you can't go wrong when you're allowing the Lord to lead your path. But when you think you got it all figured out on your own, that's when we in our own way.
Mhm. Woo. I be telling them to put his cash app up there. Y'all send him often, okay? But you're right, and that's what I was sitting here thinking. I was like, okay, so I want to see what happens next. How the reactions, how the explanations come next. If you continue to do and be disrespectful and things like that, then it becomes that pattern. So what are you going to do to fix the situation, right? And then you said so many things, just like that walking backwards, not knowing where you're going. I would never do that. Yeah, I would never be like, just go out with somebody and they just drop me in this situation. They'd be like, just walk backwards. How do I know there's not a cliff back there? How do I know there's not a tree or something I'm going to fall over? How do I know there's not a pack of dogs? I don't want to do that. And again, we're talking about that preparation, because that preparation is getting up, reading your word, getting up, praying, getting up and speaking affirmations in your life, getting up and speaking well again over yourself and over your business, over your family. You know, it's always that preparation time. And we got to prepare. What's the cliche? Prepare for war in times of peace. Because again, those seasons are going to change. Um, you know, and you never know. These days we have like all four seasons in one day. In some months it start off cold, it's gonna rain, it'll get hot, so you just have to, so you keep a coat in your car, you keep an umbrella in your car, you got to keep those things around you that are gonna protect you from those elements. And those elements could be anything in life. Could be family, could be friends, could be bosses, co-workers, whatever. This, it's so much, right?
It is so much, and I say I finally took you up on your thing. I placed the cash app in the comments just
Yes.
because.
Come on.
I'm gonna tell you, Ali, you really inspired me, and your commentary, and I say this: it's not where it's not where we're going; it's where we at presently. In order to continue to navigate through and be productive in this life and grow, we have to understand where we're at. You know, we can't have fear of where we're going, what's in front of us, and making and having the faith and understanding, like, you know what, no matter what is in front of me, whatever is in my path, there's nothing I can't overcome. Victory shall be mine. The praise is jump. Jesus understand my praise better than anybody. Man can't tell me about my praise because Jesus already know what it is. So
Come on.
you are already in the mindset of, praise and glory, grace and mercy upon your life, and understanding that walk on water feeling, that no matter what, how many daggers are being thrown my way, look at the shield that God has around me, and I can't feel it. And although you still throwing it and throwing it and throwing it, look at me smile. Look at me smile through all things. RIP to my sister. I'll continue to say this: a driving motivation in my life was she never looked like what she went through, and she
Mm.
smiled through it all. You could not tell, through her facial reactions, what she was physically going through. That was God. That is God shining light. You
Mm.
can't tell when that person has a glow, and something that man can't give it to you like God can give it to you. And there's just a glow about your life that will shine out no matter who you are in front of. And check this: when you're in front of people that don't know, and you're in front of people that don't know the goodness and the grace, ooh, you shine like the sunlight in the dark moon. I'm trying to tell you. You will shine. You will stand out. They will think that there's some kind of pot of gold at the end of where you at, because you shining like those lucky charms. You are
Mhm.
in another aura. You giving another atmosphere. But you know why? There's anointing upon your life. There's praise upon your life. There's a testimony upon your life that will make you spring forward, that will give you what you need in order to spring into that next chapter, spring into that next phase, spring into everything that the spiritual growth and the physical growth is supposed to bring to you. But it all starts here and here. Allow God to pour into your vessel. Allow God to lead your steps. There's a can't go wrong, and ain't nobody say that it wasn't going to be perfect. Think about it, Aly. God was on the cross and He endured all kind of things that was
Mhm.
so bad, so wrong. Bring a tear to your eye just thinking about it. But yet we are in situational things that are not even half of what He endured for our sins. You can't tell me there's nothing that we can't solve situationally when our God was on the cross and died for our sins and endured all of those things and still forgave, was forgiven while He was being trespassed against, and still He showed them at the end of the day, even though you done
Come
wrong
on.
towards me, I still rose. I still got up. I still left from where you thought you had me buried. And here I rise. And nothing like it. There's nothing like it, Aly. Nothing like that shift that God can move in your life. Just a little bit of faith will carry you through. Just a little bit of praise will get that soul jumping, get that spirit moving. I'm telling you, don't let the moment overtake who you are
Right.
and take you outside of whom you are. Because in understanding, even if it does, stay accountable, be responsible, and give
Right.
your whole self in true in the life. And I guarantee you, God will forgive you, and you continue to move forward in your path, and you continue to have the things that you want upon your life. You don't believe me? Just try them. I guarantee you can't go wrong.
Preach, brother. And what I was thinking about when you started is like, it said no weapon formed against you shall prosper. It didn't say the weapons wouldn't be formed. It didn't say they would come your way, but they're not going to prosper. They're not designed to hold you back. They're not designed to stop you because they are not made of God. You know what I'm saying? And so when you are of God, nothing can stop the flow of God. Nothing can stop the grace of God. Nothing can stop, you know what I'm saying? Nothing natural. because whatever God purposed for you, whatever God has for you, you gotta believe it. I could tell somebody, okay, I have $100 here, and now I'm not saying this. This is an example, everybody. But I could say I have $100 here, and the first person that comments such and such on the thread will get that $100. But if nobody believes I have $100 and nobody comments on the thread, I'm gonna keep my $100. So you have to believe. Okay, well, this what she said. If she said it, it's her lie, not my lie, right? And so you have to believe what God says about you, And I mean, so many other voices are going to be, in your lifetime from a kid. Kids pick on each other, kids call each other names, talk about your skin color, your height, your weight, all this kind of stuff. And then some of those kids grow up to continue to do the same thing because they didn't get free from whatever they was dealing with. And so life happens, things come your way, things don't always go your way, but know that no weapon formed is going to prosper. You are always the victor. You can always overcome. But hey, sometimes it takes work. Sometimes you want to cuss somebody out. Sometimes you want to slap somebody. But then you have to realize, okay, what's the value in me doing that? And what's the value in me just staying focused? You know,
Temporary satisfaction.
because every action has a reaction. Every action is going to bring something to your future. So I can decide today I'm going to study for the SATs and pass them and go to college, or I can decide I'm going to go play. And when it's time for the SATs, I fail, and all my friends are moving forward, springing forward, and I'm stuck. So what do you
True.
choose to do? Are you going to spring forward? Whether you spring forward with a limp, spring forward. Move forward. Keep pressing on. Keep believing. Keep trying. We used to play with that little Rubik's Cube. That thing used to get on my nerves, but I couldn't put it down until I got it together. It wasn't easy, especially initially, but I kept doing it. I kept changing it around. I kept mixing it up until I got it together.
You're right. Nothing like that Rubik's Cube, man. He was always trying to get that thing, to the right colors. I say this. You put it all the way in perspective. If you pour gasoline on yourself and you run through the bounds of hell, what do you think gonna happen? You're gonna burn even harder and quicker and faster. My thing is this: understand the dynamics in front of you. Know the seed of your thread, the design of your spirit. Be always upfront and accountable for who you are and what you do. Whatever it is you believe in, be all in and understanding that that is your everything. As you move forward in life, the moment that you are in fear and you're not being upfront with yourself, you all in your own way. You cannot spring forward and the spring ain't behind your board. Can't spring forward without hops. You can't spring forward if you're telling yourself that you can fly, but you ain't got off the ground. You have to equip yourself and get what you need and discover the tools about yourself to be able to spring forward efficiently, productively. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to go through things. I'd be lying to you if I told you that. You're going to go through things, but it's about how you react. How far can you see the growth in yourself as you continue to move forward and to seeing and do certain things? That is the thing. Can you see the growth? Can you see where you was at and where you're going and where you presently are? Can you see the light at the end of the tunnel? Can you see the vision that you speak upon your life? If you don't speak life upon your life, what do you expect your life to be? It's just going to be stagnant. Speak life, speak energy in your life. Be the energy, be the starter of all of that in your life. The rotation, don't you can't wait for the domino effect. Be the domino that starts. You know what I'm saying? The multitude of knocking all the other dominoes down. Be the flow. Don't just go with the flow. Be that. Let it start with you. In leadership, you can't be fearful. You're not a follower. You were born and bred different. You weren't made to fit in. You was made to stand out. Meaning that if I'm saying spring forward, you're going to be the first one on the board. Not the second, not the third, not the last, but the first, because you are setting the bar. You are setting the example. It is built within you. Don't run from that. And it's okay. And be a little worried about it, a little wary, because it's like, oh, it's brand new waters. Yeah, but don't be afraid of those waters, because you're being ascended in those waters for a reason. In leadership, in anything in this life that you want, it's the actions that you put to it that are going to dictate how much and how far you're able to achieve. Fear is just a mindset. Eliminate that from your mind and tell yourself, springing forward is all I'm going to do. I can't see nothing in my life of falling back. I may fall as I spring forward, but guess what? I'm going to hop back up and hop back on that trail and understand that no matter how many times you knock me down, John, watch this, is how many times I get up from being knocked down is going to determine how successful I'm going to be in this life.
Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. Okay, where do I want to start? How many times you get back up? Just get back up. Just try again. Just, I mean, sometimes you got to revamp it. Sometimes you got to redo it. But I'm telling you, it'll be worth it. And I know sometimes you get embarrassed and you're like, oh gosh, now, I've done this. Everybody knows about what I did, where I was. And then you trying to hide. But that's that fear trying to hold you back. Just acknowledge, okay, this is what I did. This is what I didn't do. Even in business, this is what I didn't do. I didn't put a plan together. I didn't put steps to my actions. I didn't put dates to the an opening or a launch or whatever it is. I didn't write the chapter. Whatever. I didn't finish my musical assignment. I didn't finish my assignment, whatever it is. And so, we're talking about a specific event, but this really applies all over your life, wherever you are, in your marriage, in your relationships, again, with coworkers, with family and friends, in your neighborhood. You know, it can apply to every area of your life if you apply it. I don't really know where the quote came from. I just know who I heard it from, a man named Benson Watts, and he said, "When you find your purpose, pain will disappear." Because a lot of times we're in that pain because we don't know what we're supposed to be doing. We're in that pain because we're hiding. We're in that pain because we know there's more to life than where we are. We're in that pain because we look around and we see other people springing forward and we're wondering, well, why am I not springing forward? But you can't just look at them spring forward and not ask them, okay, well, what did you do to get there? How did you spring forward? Did you run and jump to spring forward? Did you build something so you can spring forward? You know, you can't just look at them springing forward and be like, oh, well, why am I not? Because the capability is there. God has no respect of person. If he'll do it for one, he'll do it for you. But you got to put some action into it, right, JT?
You got to, the actions that you put behind it is everything. Faith without works is nothing. A thought without action is still just a dream. If you're just moving virtually in this life without ever stepping outside and on your faith, you're still just navigating virtually, moving in place. It's like jogging in place without running forward. Always remember, anything that you want in this life moving forward, you want better, you want to live better, you want better things, you want growth in your life, you got to step forward. You got to take action. You have to continue to roll through this life and say, you know what? I appreciate what I have now, but I want better. I want to grow better. I want to be better. I want to be poured into and have faith of a mustard seed and understanding that no matter how much I have, I can't be complacent. I can't just be satisfied until I achieve what I want and get to the space that I want to be in. And sometimes those require steps that are deeper than we can always, think of. Meditation, prayer, speaking upon those things into the atmosphere. Those are the ways that you get to those things in life. And again, just don't walk in fear. Walk in fear and understanding that your board to springing forward, you are on that board each and every day you get up. How far you spring forward depends on you and the actions that you put into each and every day. So don't be complacent. Don't just be indecisive. Decide and be in a made up mind that you want to spring forward and not just be standing in place.
I tell you one thing, you gonna quit coming on my show talking about me now. But it's so true, and I mean that's why I said, we hear this and we encourage one another with our words. You know what I'm saying? We are still living this life with you. We're just like you. We're not perfect. We didn't always make every decision right, and I don't make every decision right these days. But hey, but I can't let that hold me back. I can't let all the things that maybe I tried before but that didn't work. Maybe that really wasn't what I was supposed to be trying. Maybe I was trying it because somebody else was doing it. Maybe I was trying it because somebody else suggested it to me. Maybe I was trying it because for everybody else it looked good, but that ain't my purpose. Now I would be a fool to open up a bakery knowing I do not like to be in nobody's kitchen and baking and I already set myself up for failure. So again, you have to really be honest with yourself. Am I doing this just because there ain't no bakery within 20 miles of where I am? And I think if I open up one, I'm going to be successful. Not if I can't bake. Now, I could be smart. See, there are other ways to go about it. I could be smart and hire a baker. It could still be my bakery, but I got to put the right person in the kitchen. See, so
That's true.
don't get defeated. Don't say, well, I can't have a bakery because I don't. No, find you somebody that can bake. Find you somebody who loves to be in the kitchen, throwing that flour around and stuff. It can still be your bakery with your name on it, but somebody else in the kitchen.
Yep. And work hard, not I mean work smart, not hard. There you go.
Yes, because I'll be frustrated trying to look at somebody's recipe, make 15 cakes a day to be able to feed the clientele. It ain't going to work. No. But I know that about myself, and I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if I want a bakery with my name on it, I know I got to take a different route. I got to structure it a little bit different. So that's what you got to think about. Okay, well, how do I need to structure my success? How do I need to structure bringing forward from where I am? Right?
Yep. Right. It's all about knowing self and knowing what's built in your cabinet. What do you possess? And then what do you need to do in order to equip yourself better? Self inventory is essential in order to being able to move forward. Equip yourself appropriately. Do what you need to do. Look at yourself and say, what is it that's holding me from where I'm trying to be? And discover that. Take the time out to know what's going on within yourself. When you do that, you can be the most proactive, the most productive in moving and navigating through this life. When we shortchange all that, and when we don't pay close attention to what's going on with ourselves, and now you become out of tune with yourself. You don't even know what's going on within yourself, and knowing that these things start from you, and if you ain't straight and you is out here, trending water or just whatever, win your own way. And get out the way or move something, make things happen. Know what you are built to do. Understand your purpose. You be able to move forward and achieve the things that you want. But if you just speaking the same old rhetoric in your life, I can't,
Mm,
I'm tired of, I want this, but I don't know how I'm gonna get to it. Figure it out. Figure it out. I'm telling you, the answer is within you. The more and more you speak upon what you can't do, and you speaking things upon your path that you don't really want. Stop speaking it. You really want it, speaking into existence.
that's it.
Promise you, there's someone listening. Trust me, there is someone listening.
That's it. That's all I can say. We have said, don't walk in fear. And some things are scary, yeah, but do it scared. Do it, not really knowing what the outcome is going to be. When God called, was it Abraham, told him to go somewhere? He didn't know where he was going. He said, I'll tell you where to stop. But Abraham had to, it's like, well, look, how long? He didn't know how long he was going to have to walk. He didn't know if he needed to bring extra clothes, extra food. He just was obedient. And so,
Yeah.
listen to your spirit. Listen to those things that keep you up at night. Listen to those visions and things that you have about, where you want to be in life. You don't have them for no reason, just to torment you. No, it's showing you who you can be, where you can go, how you can influence society, how you can make society better. So, don't be fearful, don't be stagnant, get the help you need, ask questions, do the research, whatever it is, so that you can continue to spring forward. Prepare, just like the surfer does in all types of season. You can't say, well, I want a bakery and I just want to, so I'm just going to study in the summer, go in the summer and see, what people are serving. What do they serve in the wintertime? Maybe they serve different things. So you got to go and do your research, right?
Research is key. If you don't do no research, you might as well have on glasses that you can't see anything in front of you. You might as well be sitting in front of the computer and typing without it on. Those type of things is what you look like when you don't do your research. When you research, you are equipping your mind to be able to move forward. You're building what you need in order to get what you want. So always, strive to research, do the work, look it up, see what it takes to achieve, see what you need to do in order to get to those things, see what the steps are in the process to get what you want out this life. I guarantee you're going to get somewhere. But if you in your own way and you sitting in the room with the lights out and you're trying to type in the dark and the computer ain't on, I can get anywhere. There's nothing going on paper. There's nothing actively happening. You got to turn it on. Just like you got to turn your mojo on. You got to turn your energy on. Turn it on. Stay on so you can move and navigate forward. I promise you, when you do those things, you will get more results and you will get the things that you're really trying to achieve, or at least you'll get closer to the
Yeah.
achievement that you're looking for rather than staying stagnant and not moving and springing forward like you're supposed to be.
Yes, Lord. Because you're going to be mad in the morning when you get up and you look at that computer and ain't nothing on there and you did all that writing. Ooh. But just continue. And, as you continue to move forward, I mean, you don't know everything in the beginning, but as you continue to move forward, you'll be like, okay, this is working, this is not working. This this is not in the right place. So just keep moving forward. Keep springing forward. I don't care if it's winter, spring, summer, or fall. Different seasons are going to happen in our life. We're going to lose people. People are going to die. We might have to move. So different situations are going to happen. So know that and prepare for that. But keep your focus and make sure you're walking out your purpose and not somebody else's, right?
Yep, that's facts.
So JT, before we go, I definitely want you to tell everybody, more about, how they can follow you, all your different shows and, various avenues.
Will do. Um, you ready for me now?
Yeah.
James Sherman Thompson on Facebook. That's the government name. JT at Big Woo underscore at Big Woo Radio on the IG. On Twitter is at JT Productions. Tonight, check my Facebook page around 6 o'clock. I'm leading the devotion and prayer line at 6:30 p.m. tonight. I will post the information on my Facebook page at 6 p.m. tonight. Join me if you can. If you just need to listen in, or if you need prayer, join me on the line. I promise you, it will not disappoint. It will be uplifting and inspiring. Um, Euless Graham May's son. Go to Amazon.com, get the book. Number one in African American poetry. Been there, understand the success of what it is. So keep grabbing the book. Jim is there. Go on the any digital platform and get I Win, Freedom Reigns, Love 2.0, King's Kid. They are all available on any digital platform right now. And look out for this summer for the brand new single that I'm dropping this summer. At the front of the summer is coming. We're working on the last little bit of it. I know it's been the middle of last year since I released something. I figured I did 4 tracks in 6 months. So I was gonna let this one marinate just for the
Mhm.
time it was ready to roll. So it's coming. This life is coming this summer, 2022. Look for it for all on all your digital platforms.
All right, that's what's up. Make sure you follow JT because he is always in the community, always doing things. So make sure you follow him because he's very inspirational at all times. And his Cash App is in the comment section. So make sure, if you blessed your life today, send him a little something. Tell him thank you. And so I believe, we got to start seeding into, to our future, seeding into the things that bless us, right? And so,
Yeah.
you guys know we're here every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday at 12 noon. Um, Definitely, I've been keeping telling everybody, we've got to get our budget and stuff together. We've got to make sure we have life insurance. Set up our families for prosperity and protection because we never know when it's going to be our last day on the earth. And so, if I would stop living, not only would I stop living, but my income's not going to be coming in for my family. So, we got to get those things in order. If you're looking to put a budget together, if you're looking to, make some investments, or if you want a part time opportunity, make sure you reach out to me and I can help you in that area. So, guys, again, we're here every Monday at 2 p.m. JT is here every fourth Monday. So, definitely, if he has blessed you today, put that on your calendar every fourth Monday. He never fails. And so, until next time, as always, guys, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Go spring forward. Bye, JT.
Peace. Well.